Good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to see all of you again to the class. Before the actual class, I want to say a few things for you guys, because most of you have been studying Buddhism for many years with the many masters. Also, we have been receiving Dharma teachings from many different masters. So until today, most of us look like we are historian person, mean can tell all the historian. Most of us look like, became like a historian, not really have the Dharma in our mind. For example, so when we read a book about Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, also when we chant the verses for taking refuge, we just have a thought, oh, this is Buddha, this is Dharma, this is Sangha. I just taking refuge. Actually, so difficult to have the pure and the solid faith into Triple Gem. Second, also when we read a book about life, this life, next lives, previous lives, also we understand, the meaning of this life, next life, previous life. If somebody asks you, are you sure? Are you really sure there will be a next life? Are you sure you are set? Do you really believe in your previous lives or not? If somebody asks this question to you and answer based on your own, kind of experience, based on logics or reasonings, then we think we need to think again. I'm not sure there's a next life. There was a previous life. After I died, am I really going to go to next life or not? Then we really need to think. So we just believe the life based on the teachings. We should not be like that. We really need to have the solid belief in next life and previous life. If you don't have a solid, strong belief in next life and previous life, then so difficult to accept karma. My suffering, the suffering which I have today, I had yesterday, I will have tomorrow, all the sufferings actually caused by karma. So difficult to believe the suffering caused by karma. And also we don't have a really strong, solid belief in previous life. Then also so difficult to believe the 3,000 minds, the three minds we name thousand. We're not sure. Ignorance attachment, anger or hatred, aversion are really poison mind or not. We are not sure. Therefore, for us, we should not be like a historian person who can tell the history about this king, this country, that country. We should not be like a Buddhist historian just can explain about life, karma, triple gems, impermanence, Four Noble Truth, and also in the Tantrayana, the 3 stages. No, we need to go through our daily, experience. Therefore, we have been studying Dharma for many years. So we have been reading many Dharma books. So since today, we really need one, like a Dharma book. Doesn't matter the book is huge, like a medium size, very short teach like Dharma books. We need to use one particular, Dharma text. For example, most of you are, very busy. You have a very busy life. So we can use the foundation of all good qualities, right? So actually this, the foundation of all good qualities, this also is the Lamrim. It starts from, relies on the master or teacher or guru, and all the way until the Buddhahood, until the Vajrayana practice. Also, we can use, we can, in daily life, we can chant the 3 principal aspects of the path. The 3 principal aspects of the path. It's very short, like a text book. It's very short Dharma text. Also is explained, first how we should have, the pure motivation for listening, the teaching. What kind of pure motivation we should have when we practice Dharma. Also, it explains what kind of person we must be as a Buddhist practitioner. Then explain renunciation with the karma and law of causality. Then bodhicitta with the great compassion. Then emptiness. And also, like, we have been studying for a few classes for the 7 verses training for mind training. Also, the 8 verses mind training, the 7 point for the training mind. Also, you can see it's a very simple Dharma text. But it also explains, whole Buddha teachings. Therefore, we need one particular Dharma books as your daily study and daily practice. Then, for example, if you use, the foundation of the all good qualities. At the beginning, explain the quality rely on the teacher is the source of all goodness. That means it's telling the quality of the teachers, quality of the disciple or students, how the disciple should rely on the teacher, how the teacher must look after the disciple. Then from this sentence, then you can open the Lamrim, study about the quality of the teacher, quality of the students, how the students should rely on the teacher, how the teacher must look after the students. Then, second is explain, the very rare opportunity to have the leisure and opportunity life. Then from this sentence, you chant these verses, do meditation. If you want to know more understanding, you need more deeper understanding about this sentence, then you can open Lamrim, related to these verses. Then third is explain impermanent. The lifespan are like a bubble water, impermanence. Then slowly explain the karma and the three poison mind. Also chant these verses, do short practice. If you want to know more explanation, deeper understanding, then you open Lamrim. Then also explain the great compassion, then bodhicitta, and everything. Therefore, we need to use, we must have one particular kind of book as your kind of daily Dharma book. Then all the study, you must study related to this book. The book is a huge book, the medium size, like small size, very short kind of teaching. Otherwise, because we have been studying for many years, study from many books. Then when somebody asks, okay, you have like 1 hour for your practice. You have only 1 hour to practice a complete, Buddha Dharma. You have only 1 hour to practice the complete path to achieve liberation. Then we will confuse how I should, put all practice together and practice within 1 hour. We're confused. Lamrim is a huge. Then the good foundation of all good qualities, the foundation of good qualities is very short teaching. So you can just start from beginning this text. Then you can link this practice with all the Buddha teaching. Therefore, I ask you to have which, Dharma text you like. You use the book as your daily study and practice. Number one. Number two, because this class is advanced class, I consider, all of you are very advanced student. So you have been studying Prajna Paramita, Perfection, Pramana, Madhyamaka, Abhidharma, the collective topic, tenets, so many studies. You are advanced students. So when we study Dharma, our wisdom, our knowledge, becoming more advanced. Means I know what does mean impermanence. I know what does mean emptiness. I know how to visualize the deity like a idam, how to practice the 2 stages, how to practice the 5 stages, the clear-eyed mind, illusory body. That means our wisdom become more advanced. It is not our purpose to have advanced wisdom about Buddhism. It is not our main purpose to study Dharma, to have a lot of Dharma knowledge in our mind. So our main purpose, the purpose is achieving Buddhahood, is the final destination, the final goal to achieve, final destination to go, becoming Buddha. So in order to become Buddha, of course we need the knowledge. We need Dharma knowledge, the complete knowledge, but all the knowledge. So we have to practice in our daily life. That means you have a headache medicine, you must eat the headache medicine. You have the painkiller, we must eat the painkiller. We should not just store in one box. We should not store somewhere. So we need to apply all the Dharma knowledge in our daily life, in every day. Right? Therefore, we try to be advanced practitioner, not just advanced students. If we just have all the Dharma knowledge, simply we have a lot of Dharma knowledge. So we have been attending Dharma class for many, many years with the mini master. Then at the end, when you reflect about your life, so for example, I ask you, oh, you have been studying Dharma for many, many years. Do you really got, a lot of benefit from Dharma? Then you say, I don't think so. Oh, so you rely on this master, this guru for many years. For example, many of you receive teaching from His Holiness Dalai Lama. That means you consider Dalai Lama is your guru. So you rely on Dalai Lama for many, many years. Every day you visualize him, you pray to him, you do, prostration to him, we offer a mandala for him. If somebody asks, okay, you rely on Dalai Lama for many years, are you really have been receiving benefit from him? Then you say, not much. Then it's a very dangerous. At the end, then you thought all the gurus are not important. The bad word you can say, all the gurus are useless. I rely on them for many, many years. I don't get any benefit. Also, worst thing we say, all the Buddha teachings, the Lamrim, like Heart Sutra, the Four Noble Truth, dependent arising, the Rice Seedling Sutra. You say all the Buddha teachings, all the dharmas are useless, because you will say, I have been studying Dharma, all this teaching for many, many years, but I don't get any benefit. Then slowly you have a very wrong, kind of view about the Guru, the Buddhas, and his teaching. Because you just have to be advanced student, not the advanced practitioner. Then this kind of dangers we can have. Therefore, please try to be the advanced practitioner. So in order to be the advanced practitioner and a perfect practitioner, we need to start the practice from the foundation. Many of you talking about like a power, clear mind, illusory body, flying in the sky, becoming Buddha within one lifetime. Those are impossible for us. Therefore, our study, our practice, so we have to start from the foundation. Therefore, since I came to Singapore as a resident teacher, at the beginning I really, didn't teach, like a Lamrim. Like I explained the Four Noble Truth, the Rice Selling Sutra, many of dependent origination. Make sure you have, the proper foundation. Then, I teach Lamrim. Then slowly I explain, I teach the intermediate way. I hope, I guess, you have a kind of a solid foundation. Therefore, the foundation for us, the Four Noble Truths, the practicing Four Noble Truth is the Four Noble Truth is the foundation. Four Noble Truth. Within the Four Noble Truth actually include all the practices. Four Noble Truth, then 16 characteristic of the Four Noble Truths. All practices actually within the Four Noble Truth. Emptiness is there. The cessation is there. All the illusory body, killer mind, the 2 stages. The 5 stages are within the Four Noble Truth. Therefore, in our daily life, make sure we practice the Four Noble Truth with the meditation, not just read the books, reflect for a short time. So this is, I want to say, like second, make sure you must try to be advanced practitioner, not the advanced students. But we have one problem. We always wish to do high level of practice without having the solid, I say solid, I not say just foundation, without having the solid foundation. Some of you have the foundation to practice Vajrayana, but the foundation is not solid. Without having the solid foundation, you build the first floor, second floor, then somehow there's something in no good. Then you need to rebuild the foundation. When you rebuild the foundation, also you not try to build the solid. Then you build the second floor, third. Then there's again you have again another problem. Therefore, your practice must start from the basic, from the foundation. Then the high level practice, like Vajrayana, like power, everything will come very easily. Very easily. For example, you bought a land, let's say, around the Bukitima area in the forest. You bought a land, mean you have a land, mean you follow Buddhism. But you have the land, but you never, like cleaned the land. You make sure all the bed, like grass removed. Make sure all the stone you remove. Make sure the land has the enough water, enough moisture. So you never remove the bed grass, the grasses. You never remove the stone. You never think about the moisture or water. You just put the seeds to grow like rice, wheat, barley, fruit. You just plant the seeds. Then you have a very high expectation to have a good crops like rice, barley, fruit. Then after 1 year, 2 years, the good fruits never come in your hand. Then you criticize the land. Oh, this land is no good because I plant the seeds to grow rice. I plant the seeds to grow like barley, wheat, apple, mango. Nothing happened in this land. You criticize land, but you never think you haven't removed the grass, the stone, You never think is there enough moisture. You never think about the water and soil. It's same thing. So you have been studying Dharma, you follow Dharma, you attend teaching for many, many years, but you never think you remove all the obstacle for practicing Dharma. Make sure your mind must be moistured by loving kindness, compassion. Then you can plant seeds for generating bodhicitta. So your mind is not having moisture by the loving kindness and compassion. You wish to generate bodhicitta. We cannot. Right? Therefore, please, your Dharma practice start from the foundation, from the basic, not from the high level. This is the second point. Then the third point. This is my personal view, personal thoughts. All of you are lay person. All of you have a very busy life. Your life is full of busyness. But your Dharma practice have to, follow more simple way. More simple. But your life is so busy. You don't have a lot of free time to study all the teachings. Still, you try to attend all the classes, which is very good. If you're not practicing, if you don't have a time to practice, you understand, but you're not able to practice, then there's no point to attend all the classes. All the classes. Because I said, the people who follow Buddhism, who practice Buddha Dharma, there's two types of people. Remember, I said many times, one group of Buddhists, they follow Buddha teaching, practice the Buddha teaching, they have the responsibility to preserve the Buddha teaching. If you are include that categories, that group, then you need to practice Dharma, as well as you need to study, you need to receive all the teachings, all the instruction to preserve the lineage of the Buddha teaching. You need to receive all the teaching from Gelugpa tradition, Saya tradition, Nyingma tradition to preserve the teaching. So the next you can pass the teaching down to others. Most of you are not include that categories. The second type of person has only just one responsibility: study and practice. Study and practice. What do you need to study? You need to study the 5 paths. Right, about the 5 paths, then you practice the 5 paths. So you don't need to, learn all the teachings, all kinds of teaching. You don't need to attend, all kinds of Dharma class, because you are not the person have the true responsibility. You have only one responsibility, mean study and practice. You don't have the responsibility to preserve the Buddha teachings. So therefore, for you, I said at the beginning, you just select, one particular Dharma text, Dharma book, or like a teaching. This is your main kind of, daily study book, daily practice book. Then rest of the study you must include in this text. Very easy to study, very easy to practice. These are beginning. Then from the root text, so today we will discuss a little bit a very boring topic. It's a very boring, also it's a very important. From the root text, through the power of his merit, and his merit increase ever more. when had gone afar, he will also surpass them by his intelligence. From these two lines, then we need to discuss a lot of things. You first lesson, you no need to open the soft copy. This has three parts. How the 10 ground sutra demonstrate that the Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddhas possess realization of phenomena as lacking intrinsic existence. That means there's a very particular sutra, namely the 10 ground sutra. Based on the 10, according to the 10 ground sutra, demonstrate, mean explain, shows the Pratyeka Buddha and Sarvaka, Pratyeka and Sarvaka Buddhas possess, they have the, possess the realization of emptiness. Very important. Therefore, Sarvaka, Pratyeka Buddha also need to realize emptiness. It is demonstrated in the 10 ground sutras. Number one. Then number two, the point number two, the sources, this substance, this point. What is the point? Point is Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha need to realize emptiness. Then there's a scripture sources. Substance, this point. Then third, point number three, rebutting the objection arise again this presentation. Then there's again a debate. Then the first point, Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha possess the realization of emptiness. Then it has two parts. This twofold. Explaining the clearly intent of the commentary author, mean very clear explanation according to intent of Chandrakirti. Because Lama Tsongkhapa said, Pratyeka and Sarvaka Buddha need to realize emptiness. They possess the realization of emptiness. And also, according to Chandrakirti tradition, or according to Nagarjuna tradition, also mention the Pratyeka and Sarvaka must realize emptiness. Also, second point, how this is also the standpoint of guide to Bodhisattva way. That means, according to Chandrakirti tradition, Pratyeka and Sarvaka Buddha must realize emptiness. They have the mind which realizes emptiness. Also, according to Shantideva tradition, according to Shantideva point of view, Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha also must realize emptiness. Right? That means simple, you must think, in order to achieve liberation, the person have to realize emptiness. According to Chandrakirti, according to Shantideva, according to Nagarjuna, according to Buddha Shakyamuni. Right? So when we hear this statement, what we need to think, I am Buddhist, I follow Buddha teaching, my main achievement is like liberation. Liberation for yourself or liberation for others. The liberation is, our achievement. So in order to achieve liberation, I need to realize emptiness. Without realizing emptiness, liberation cannot be achieved. Simply you think that way. Then, according to Chandrakirti, from his point of view, if Sarvaka and Pratyak Buddha haven't possessed the realization of emptiness, then they cannot eliminate the afflictive emotion with the seeds. Point number one. Point number two, if Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha haven't had the wisdom which is realize emptiness, then the Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha and the non-Buddhist practitioner, right, they become same. Mean the non-Buddhist, remember the seer, the sage, they can reduce the manifest affliction for the temporarily until the top of the samsara. I remember the peak of the samsara. Until then, they can reduce all the emotion for temporarily. Then after many years, then the afflicted emotion arise again. Then Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha will have a same thing because they haven't realized emptiness. This is point number two. Then most important point is here. Then there's a question. Then why Sarvaka and Pratyeka Buddha must realize emptiness? Why? Because they can achieve liberation practicing Four Noble Truths and the 16 characteristics. Right? They can realize Four Noble Truth, realize the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truth, and practice for many years. Then they can realize the Four Noble Truth and 16 attributes by direct perception. Then they can achieve the seeing path, meditative path. Then they can become liberation, right? Liberation. Then this answer for this question, very clear answered by Shantideva. So today we study, based on Shantideva's standpoint. Study about Shantideva's viewpoint. If you have the soft or hard copy, the page number is 83. If you don't have, you just listen. How this is also the standpoint of Guide to Bodhisattva Way. This standpoint is also maintained by the great Bodhisattva Shantideva. His Guide to Bodhisattva Way posed the following question. Right? Question. So what is the question? Question is according to from the text. It is through the seeing truth one is freed. What need is there then to see emptiness? This is the question. It is through seeing the truths, Four Noble Truths, and the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truth, then the person can be freed from samsara. The practitioner can be free from the root of the samsara. What need is there then to see emptiness? Right? For example, somebody insists you to eat like a pasta. You very much like, like a noodle. You like laksa. You very much like laksa. But somebody insists you to eat pasta. Then you say, why I need to eat pasta? My stomach can be filled, full of eating the laksa. Why I have to eat pasta? The same question, in the same way, why the Pradika and Sarvaka need to see emptiness? Why they need emptiness? Without seeing, without realizing emptiness, they can achieve liberation. They can be free from samsara, cause of samsara, based on practicing Four Noble Truth and the 16 attributes. Why they need to, realize emptiness? This is the question. Then the answer here, the questioner is arguing. That means I think, the Hinayana, what do you call tenets. One become free from affliction through the path, seeing the Four Noble Truths, and there are 16 characteristics such as impermanence. Therefore, it is not necessary to see emptiness in order to eliminate the afflictions. So this is the question, right? Clear question. One become free from affliction through the path. What kind of path? Seeing the Four Noble Truths, and their 16 characteristics such as impermanence. Therefore, it is not necessary to see emptiness in order to eliminate afflictions. So some would argue, right? No need to see emptiness. Simply you realize Four Noble Truths and the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truths. Practice the path. The person can be achieve liberation. Why need to see emptiness in order to eliminate the afflictions? This argument. That answered by Shantideva, the sentence, the line from the Bodhisattva way, from the scripture state, that without this path, there's no awakening. Shantideva said, actually Shantideva was saying, no, you are mistaking. Because in the perfection teaching, Prajnana Paramita teaching explain, without this path, the path which is realizing emptiness, there's no liberation, awakening, liberation, right? Once more, for the scripture state that without this path, there's no awakening. Awakening means no liberation, no Buddhahood, right? So you remember the scripture. Now, explained by Lama Tsongkhapa, Shantideva states here that without this part of seeing emptiness of the intrinsic existence, there's no attaining any of the three types of enlightenment. Once more, without this path, particular the path, seeing the emptiness of intrinsic existence, there's no attaining any of three types of enlightenment. Right? That means without realizing emptiness, without the path which is realize emptiness, nobody can achieve any of the three types of enlightenment. Enlightenment of Sarvaka, enlightenment of Pratika Buddha, enlightenment of the Bodhisattva. Clear? That means Sarvaka need to realize emptiness in order to achieve Sarvaka enlightenment, Pratika Buddha's enlightenment, Bodhisattva's enlightenment. How this is studied in the scripture is explained by the great commentary to guide to Bodhisattva way, which cite the Mother Perfection Wisdom Sutra that speak of how there is no liberation for those who perceive the real entity. Therefore, usually we say Prajana Pramita. And in Tibetan we call the mother perfection wisdom. Yum mean like a great mother. Yum Chemo, then perfection wisdom. Is remember emptiness. We name mother. Bodhicitta, we name father. Right? Now you can see the reason why we name, the emptiness as a mother. Mother can have any concept like a child, like a European child, American child, Chinese child, Indian child, like Singaporean child. The mother can have any kinds of child. That means emptiness, realizing emptiness can be like a basis to achieving three types of liberation, three types of enlightenment. You just realize emptiness. Now up to you, you can achieve Sarvaka's enlightenment. You can achieve Pratika Buddha's enlightenment. You can achieve Bodhisattva's enlightenment. Then Bodhicitta, the methods we name father, right? That's traditionally the child is Singaporean or non-Singaporean. It depends on the father, not the mother. Mean you realize emptiness, you practice emptiness, but the path can be Hinayana path, Mahayana path. It depends on the methods, not the wisdom. Therefore, the perfection teaching we name, mother perfection. Therefore, he's the mother perfection of wisdom sutra that speak of how there's no liberation for those who perceive real entities. Real entities mean things perceived as a independent entity. The things exist independently, independent entity, intrinsic entity, then you cannot achieve liberation, any kind of liberation. Then again, I think you are thinking, why? How cannot? Very simple. Liberation means free from afflictive emotion, free from ignorance. One day, when our mind totally free from ignorance, then we achieve liberation. In order to free from ignorance, we need to realize emptiness. Right? For you still believe the thing exists independently, inherently, mean still you have ignorance. Then how we can achieve liberation? Therefore, please remember this line. Sutara that speak of how there's no liberation for those who perceive a real entity. A real entity. Also make sure, right? Real entity doesn't mean, what is this? This is a book. Yeah, we say this is a book. In the reality, this is a book. But this book doesn't have a real entity. This book doesn't establish. This book doesn't exist independently, inherently. That's meaning of not, a real entity. If you still perceive this book exists independently, you never achieve liberation. Those who perceive real entity, and how from stem, then next sentence, how from the stem entry to the particular Buddhahood, past, present, future. All of these states are attained through the perfection of wisdom alone, right? Therefore, remember that there's a four stem, entering at the reverse, no reverse, there's a four, right? Then liberation. That means any kind of person who practice Buddha teaching, none of them can achieve liberation without realizing emptiness. Therefore here, present, past, present, future, all of these states are attained through the perfection of wisdom alone. Right? Without the wisdom, which realizes emptiness, none of the practitioners can achieve liberation. They cannot. So, taking the word awakening, right? There's awakening mind. Say, there's no liberation. There's no awakening. For the scripture states that without this path, there's no awakening. The awakening in this second line, in the above quote, some do to refer only to the unexcelled awakening of Buddha. It is not the meaning. Somebody says, no. The awakening is referred to the fully enlightened state. Lama Tsongkhapa, no, it's a mistake. Awakening referred to the three types of awakening. Once more, so taking the words awakening in the second line in the above quote, as some do to refer only to the unexcelled awakening of the Buddha, is not the meaning. Then the four lines, then because I tried to find the English translation in the Bodhisattva way, so Sonam sent me one copy. So there's a lot of mistake, but we just follow the Lama Tsongkhapa the commentary here. Then the four line beginning. So remember, first for the scripture state that without this path there's no awakening. Right? Then there's a few line. Then after that there's another four line. Then the fourth line beginning. Since the true monk is the root of the Dharma. Also present how a path that involve a mind affected by objectification through the grasping at true existence cannot lead to attainment of the nirvana. The truth monk is the root of the Dharma. Now you can see, in order to exist the Dharma, the true monk must be exist. If there's no such as, the truth monk is not there, then we can say that Buddha Dharma is, disappear or decline, that and that, the kind of that area. Now you need to know the point here. We usually pay, flourish the Buddha teaching in 10 direction, right? 10 direction. It doesn't mean, we can distribute the Buddha, the books into 10 direction. Very, very easy. One rich, very wealthy family can print billions of copies of the Dharma books. Then we can distribute into all parts of the world. It doesn't mean the Buddha teaching flourish into 10 directions. The Buddha teaching have to flourish within our mind, right? So in order to flourish the Buddha teaching, we must have the truth Sangha. Mean the Sangha who already accomplished the seeing path. Seeing path. Seeing path. Seeing path refers to seeing the emptiness, right? Therefore, it is not easy to have flourish the Buddha teaching in 10 direction. In order to flourish the Buddha Dharma, we need the true monk, who realize emptiness. In the root of the Dharma, also present how the path it involves the mind affected by objectification through the grasping at the true existence cannot lead to attainment of the nirvana. There's a 4 line within the 1 line. We finish. The second one, if one is free through the elimination of affliction, then it should happen immediately afterward. If one is freed through elimination of affliction, elimination here referred to, eliminate temporarily, subdue temporarily, not, kind of forever. If you believe, somebody temporarily reduce the affliction, mean free from affliction, then should happen immediately afterward. Then whoever, just temporarily subdue the afflictive emotion, then that person immediately can achieve liberation. So this is not the, case. If one is free through the elimination of the affliction, then it should happen immediately afterward. Now, explanation by Lama Tsongkhapa. Here the line, if one is free through the elimination of affliction, presents the opponent position. The meaning of the line should be explained in the same sense as the line. It is through the seeing the truth one free. In terms of the Kori, if one become free from the affliction through the path, seeing the Four Noble Truth and their 16 characteristics such as impermanent, this is because the context here is about whether freedom from the affliction can be attained through the path of the 16 characteristic impermanence alone. That this is so clear also from the argument in the line. It is through the seeing the truth, right? That means if you believe temporarily, like reduce the afflict emotion is meaning of eliminating affliction. Then who relies for noble truth, 16 characteristic, the person immediately achieve liberation, must, could achieve liberation, because he or she temporarily control, reducing the affect emotions. For example, you are very angry with someone, then you realize, oh, the angry is no good. It makes me very unpleasant, it makes me very unhappy. Right? Then suddenly you remember, generating love and compassion. Then immediately you generate compassion. They look like anger is totally eliminated. Actually, no. You temporarily reduce. You haven't eliminated the anger from the root. So if you think is two is same, just reducing temporarily, or eliminate from the root is, if you think is same, then the person who relies for noble truth, he or she is just realizing for noble truth, he or she can be achieve liberation. So this is not the meaning. Now we move, the most important and difficulty meaning. In the view of above, it is definitely incorrect to explain this line as an approach whereby, while accepting that affliction can be eliminated through the path of 16 characteristics such as impermanence alone. So if we practice only for noble truth and their 16 characteristics, we cannot achieve liberation. We cannot eliminate the afflictive emotion. We cannot eliminate the afflictions. One still maintains that this path cannot bring freedom from all suffering. The correct meaning intent here, when those afflictions defined, is common with the true Sarvaka school, Vibhashika and Sudantika, temporarily cease to manifest for some practitioner because they generated the path of Four Noble Truths and the 16 characteristics described above. If this were to truly constitute free from the affliction, then such a person should attain total cessation for all contamination immediately after such as temporarily eliminate of the manifest affliction. Right? Therefore, when we practice Four Noble Truth with the 16 characteristics for many years, temporarily we can reduce, but we cannot eliminate from the root. If we think reducing temporarily and eliminating from the root are same, then the person who relies for noble truth and the 16 characteristics, the person must achieve liberation immediately when they realize for noble truth. Right? Therefore, Vibhashika and Sudantika temporarily cease to manifest from some practitioner because they generated the Four Noble Truths and 16 characteristics described above. This means what Shantideva was saying, without realizing emptiness, doesn't matter how long you practice Four Noble Truth, and there are 16 characteristics, nobody can eliminate the affliction, but temporarily can eliminate, temporarily can reduce, right? Reduce not from the root. So this is the point from Shantideva. Now Shantideva defined more precisely. This is how the opponent's position is refuted here. That such as consequences cannot be accepted is explained in the following. This means the Pasangika, from the Pasangika point of view, they cannot accept, achieve, we can achieve three types of any of the three types of liberation only practicing Four Noble Truth and the 16 characteristic. So we cannot, Pasangika cannot accept, right? Now here very important what we need to think, for example, Chitta Mantra point of view, first two school point of view, they believe if you practice Four Noble Truth with their 16 characteristic, we can achieve liberation. This is their point. Then Shantideva, Chandrakirti, Nagarjuna, also according to Parajana Paramita teaching, was saying, without realizing emptiness, nobody can achieve any of the three types of liberation. Now we are in the center, okay. Chitta Mantra school, Vibhashika, Sudanda school, they're saying we can achieve liberation practicing through Four Noble Truth and the 16 characteristic. Therefore, Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, Shantideva, Parajana Paramita teaching was saying we cannot achieve liberation only practicing Four Noble Truth and the 16 characteristic. We have to realize emptiness. Now you need to look two sides. One say can, other side say cannot. Now you are in the middle. So we are in the middle. Right? Middle mean we are in the middle. Chitta Mantra proponent said, you no need to just emptiness. Just practice Four Noble Truth with their 16 characteristic, you can achieve liberation. Vibhashika, Sudantika, proponents said, they come to us, no, you no need to realize emptiness, just practice Four Noble Truth and their characteristic, you will achieve liberation. Then we say, okay, right? Then next, Chandrakirti, Nagarjuna, Shantideva, they come, so no, they are mistaken. They said to you, just practice Four Noble Truth and their 16 attributes, you achieve liberation. They are mistaken. You must realize emptiness. Right? Now we confuse. Which tradition we must follow? Now we have to be in the middle, in the center, with the honesty mind. Now we need to know which one is actually true. Then there's a quote from the Bodhisattva way. Though they possess no afflictions, one sees in them the potency of the karma. What is karma, right? Now Shantideva was saying, the practitioner who haven't realized emptiness, but meditate on the Four Noble Truth for many years, though they possess no afflictions, one sees in them the potency of karma, but still they have the potency of karma, right? First, you keep this sentence in your mind. Though they possess no afflictions, one sees in them the potency of karma. Then the first line saying, though they possess no affliction, the practitioner who practice Four Noble Truth with the 16 attributes, they no possess affliction but has a karma, right? Karma. What does mean this line? although such a practitioner possess no manifest affliction, that means the line actually, though they possess no manifest affliction, but still they see in them potential of karma, right? That means, so for example, the practitioner practiced for noble truth for many years. The practitioner, don't have the manifest afflictions, but still have the potency of the karma or imprints of the karma. Although such a practitioner possess no manifest affliction because of their karma, a potency to propel the future birth can still be discerned. Mean they don't have the manifest affliction, but still have the imprints of karma. Due to the karma, someday they can be born in samsara. That means they are not totally free from samsara. Right? Now you can see more precisely the meaning. Thus, this line from the guide to Bodhisattva way, which line? Though they possess no affliction, one sees in them the potency of karma. Thus, this line from the guide to Bodhisattva way should be explained in the above way, which is mean, although such a practitioner possess not manifest affliction because of their karma, propensity to propel the future birth. So this is the actual meaning, right? But some Indian, some Tibetan, you can say, some Indian commentarians, as well as some Tibetan interpret the line as follow. Although Mugalyana, Arya Angulimala, alike do not possess affliction, one can see them the result of the karma accumulated by causing suffering when they were ordinary beings, and thus they do not attain freedom immediately. This interpretation is incorrect, right? Actually, the line meaning means, although such a practitioner possess no manifest affliction because of their karma, potency to propel the future birth can still be discerned. Mean the practitioner who practice only Four Noble Truth with the 16 attributes, they don't have the manifest affliction, but they still have the potency of the karma. Due to the karma, they continuously, birth, take a rebirth or take a birth in samsara. But many Indian Tibetan masters said, Mugalyana, Angulimala, Arya, they don't have afflictions. They do not possess affliction. One can see them the result of the karma accumulated from the causing suffering when they were ordinary being. Thus, they do not attain freedom immediately. So this meaning is this explanation is incorrect, is wrong. Now, simple you must think, if I, doesn't matter, Angulimala, whoever, you must think, if I only practice Four Noble Truth with their 16 characteristics, I can eliminate the manifest affliction. But still I have the potency of the karma, right? Then, when you think this way, you need to think, yeah, temporarily, I control my anger, attachment, ignorance. It cannot manifest. I fully, subdue, haven't eliminated, but I have a karma. Means one day, when the afflicted emotion arises as a manifest, then it's activate the karma. Then I again, continuously born in samsara. So this is the actual meaning. For example, some of you, let's say, some person got the very good treatment for the civic cancer. They got very good treatment. That means the cancer is fully under control. But if the deep down, there's a still kind of, some kind of virus or some kind of, very tiny kind of things deep down there, right? Then what do you think? Oh, if something happened for my health, then the very subtle kind of virus reactivate, right? It's something. For example, someone do lot everyday meditation for nothingness. They thought there's a nothing. There's no karma. There's nothing. Every day they meditate for nothingness. Nothingness. Do meditate on nothingness. For the person, no attachment. When beautiful object appear, the person doesn't have any attachment. When unpleasant thing appear to the person doesn't have any kind of hatred, anger. Look like the person is totally free from afflictions. No. Temporarily, he reduce. He doesn't have the manifest, like attachment or anger. Still, attachment, anger is still there. Then one day, the anger arise again, activate the karma, and take a rebirth again. Now it's a more interesting or more, I think, difficult to know the some meaning here. Remember the line, though they possess no afflictions, one sees in them the potency of karma. This is the first two lines. The next, the example or analogy, third and fourth line. Like the meditative attainment of non-perception, the mind divorces from emptiness, though cease, will arise again. Like the meditative attainment of non-perception, the mind divorces from emptiness, though cease, will arise again. That means there's one particular practice, the name meditative attainment of non-perception. Right? So the person practice this practice for many years. Divorce means without practicing emptiness, the person can cease affliction, mean cease the manifest afflictions for time being. Then will arise again. Will arise again. Right? So many people have a very interested to do meditation, which is very good. I said mentioned many times, if we practice only, if we do meditation only, breathing meditation, if you do only breathing meditation every day, every moment, for the time being, you can eliminate the afflictions. one day going to arise again. Then you are a very angry person. Then every day, every moment, you practice love and compassion. For every moment, then one day you feel, oh, I don't have any anger. Other people also believe, oh, how come that person doesn't have any anger? No anger, no hatred, right? Like. Then second, also you practice non-attachment for many months. The one day you feel, oh, now I don't have attachment. Then mean temporarily you control anger, eliminate anger, the manifest anger, attachment, so and so. But one day they will arise. What is the cause to arise again? What is the cause? Now you see here next there. If one is divorced from the realization of emptiness, the mind ridden with affliction may have cease for the while through practicing other path. But as they have not been permanently turned away, the affliction will resurface in manifest manner, such as circling in cycle existence under the power of karma would priest. The statement that there's a temporarily stop for afflicted mind is to be understood, explained above, mean temporarily elimination of the manifest affliction. Now to present the opponent respond to the line, one sees them, the potency of karma. Now, all the manifest affliction as control, being controlled, eliminate for temporarily, then how the karma can reactive. Then next line here, you want assert, it is certain that they have not craving, they lead to appropriation, right? Now remember 12 links dependent origination. First, ignorance. Second is appropriation of karma. Third is consciousness. Then craving, grasping, becoming. Remember this one, you must remember the order of the 12 links. There's two orders. One according to how Buddha taught. First, ignorance. Second is appropriation of karma. Third, consciousness. Fourth, name and form. Right? Then sources. Then contact. Then I think feeling. Then craving, grasping, becoming. Then death, aging and death. Right? These are how Buddha taught the 12 independent origination. There's another order, how the order of cause and effect. First, ignorance. Ignorance. Due to ignorance, there's attachment, anger, desire, so and so. Then we accumulate karma. Right? Karma. Third, consciousness. Mean the karmas we store or we lead imprint on the mind. For example, you have a garlic in your hand, then somehow you throw the garlic, but still you can feel the smell in your hand. That means first moment you engage in the karma. Second moment you stop engaging in action. But karma is already lies on, stored in the consciousness. That means ignorance, then appropriation of karma, the consciousness. After consciousness, according to cause and effect, consciousness, then we say, craving, clinging. So craving, grasping, then becoming. This means the craving and grasping, how activate the karma. Then the karma become, like I said, number 10 become, then take a rebirth. Therefore, here the line is mentioned here. Since by the path, so if one assert, it is certain that they have no craving, mean the practitioner who practice Four Noble Truth with their 16 characteristics, they don't have a craving. Doesn't matter the karma is still there or not. There's no craving, the karma cannot, cause to take a rebirth. Somebody said that. If one said, it is certain that they have no craving, lead to appropriation. Since by the path, the craving that appropriate future birth is brought to end, it is certain that they do not take further birth under the power of karma. Right? This is again argument. So, doesn't matter if they have a propensity of the karma or not, because they don't have a craving. Therefore, the power of karma, due to the power of karma, the person not going to take another rebirth because there's no craving. Right? This is the point of view from the first two schools. Then the response again by Shantideva. Though this craving may be unafflicted, may it yet exist like ignorance. Though this craving may be unafflicted, may it yet exist like ignorance. This is very difficult, to understand, like ignorance. Ignorance, there's two kinds of ignorance. Ignorance is point of view from the Pasangika, point of view from the Abhidharma, or point of view from the first two schools. One ignorance, defined by the Pasangika. There's another ignorance which is defined by the first two schools. Means ignorance can be, there's two types. One is from the Pasangika point of view, one is from the other point of view. Right? Then Shantideva was saying, though this craving may be unafflicted. That means craving can have two types. One, which is affliction according to Abhidharma. There's another type of craving, which is according to, or from point of view from Pasangika. There's no craving, right? The Shantideva said, no. You are talking about no craving is according to Abhidharma. Still there may be a craving, defined by according to the Pasangika. May it yet exist like ignorance. Now more clearly explanation. I'm not sure what time is it now, 4:30. So a few minutes, then we can have a Q&A. Shantideva respond here in this. Just as the opponent accept there to be two types of ignorance. We are not talking ignorance of person, ignorance of phenomenon. No. There to be two types of ignorance. One, that is an affliction in the sense defined in the Abhidharma. That means there's a one type of ignorant which is established or defined by the Abhidharma, with the Abhidharma, and another type that is not. I mean, there's two types of ignorance. One is defined or established based on Abhidharma. One is never ever mentioned Abhidharma, but still there's another type of ignorance which is defined from the Pasangika. Therefore, I will read one more. The two types of ignorance. One, that is an affliction in the sense defined in the Abhidharma, and other types that is not. With the respect to the craving, one types that is an affliction in the sense defined in the Abhidharma, and another type that is not. The suggestion here is that there's a form of craving that is not an affliction in the sense commonly asserted to both by the two Sarvaka school and by the Mahayana. This do not mean, however, that such craving is not accepted to be afflictions. So rest of the next class we will spend a little more time to explain this this difficult topic. A conclusion here. First Shantideva said, without realizing emptiness, nobody can achieve liberation. Without realizing emptiness, if you practice Four Noble Truth and there are 16 characteristics, temporarily you can eliminate the manifest affliction, but you cannot eliminate the affliction. You can eliminate the manifest afflictions, right? This one. Then the practitioner who only practice Four Noble Truth with their 16 characteristics can eliminate the manifest affliction, but cannot eliminate the afflictions. Why not? Why not? Right? Then he was saying, the practitioner who only practice Four Noble Truth and the 16 characteristics, they can eliminate the manifest, cannot eliminate. For you, if you think it's same, eliminating the manifest affliction, eliminating the affliction is same, that means the person who realizes Four Noble Truth, immediately he or she can achieve liberation. This is not the case. And also the practitioner who meditate on Four Noble Truth and their 16 attributes for many, many years, they no possess manifest affliction. Still, they have the potency of the karma. Due to this karma, the practitioner can, born again or take a rebirth again in samsara. Therefore, practitioner who practice only Four Noble Truth, they cannot be free from samsara because of he or she has the karma. Right? Then they said, yes, they have a karma, but they don't have craving. No craving, no grasping, then the karma cannot activate. The karma is look like very dry seeds, cannot produce any sprout. They say, yes, they have a karma, but they don't have a craving. Then Shantideva said, no, you are mistaken. You are mistaken. They don't have the craving, which is explained which is defined according from the Abhidharma, according to Abhidharma, according to the first two schools, still they can have craving which is defined from the Pasangika school. For example, ignorance. Ignorance, there's a two types of ignorance. One, sense of defined from the Abhidharma, one is not. The craving must have a same thing. Right? The next, like a Saturday, so we will shortly study why they have craving. Right? Because according to Abhidharma, the practitioner who practice for Noble Truth, they don't have a craving, they already eliminate. But the Pasangika said they still have a craving. Now remember that among the 12 link-dependent origination, name and form, sources, then contact. Contact means our five senses or the mental consciousness contact with the beautiful object. So we have a pleasant feeling. When our five sense or mental consciousness contact with the non-attractive phenomena, then we have an unpleasant feeling. When we have a pleasant feeling, we wish to have this pleasant feeling continuously. When we have an unpleasant feeling, we wish to stop the unpleasant feeling. Right? Same way, so the person who haven't realized emptiness, the person has the strong grasping, the pleasant feeling as a truly existent. Unpleasant feeling also truly existent. Then there's a feeling pleasant, then we have a craving, continuously have the pleasant. Unpleasant, also we have a craving to stop the unpleasant. Then there's a craving because of feeling. There's a feeling, there's a craving. Who haven't realized emptiness, they have a feeling, they have a concept, they have an idea, the feeling exists, the feeling is truly existent, the pleasant, unpleasant. Therefore, there's a craving because there's a feeling. Then there's a craving, there's a grasping. Then there's a grasping, the karma can activate the person continuously, but in samsara. Okay, today, I know today's topic is very dry, also very difficult. Also, some of you may be thinking, why we need to study this and that? Again, we are not, just free person to, talk everything. Our main achievement is, like a liberation, fully free from samsara, cause of samsara, or liberation, like Buddhahood. In order to achieve liberation or Buddhahood, we need to eliminate ignorance. Only practicing for Noble Truth with their 16 characteristics, we cannot achieve liberation, any kind of liberation. We cannot eliminate the afflictions. We need to realize emptiness. So this is the point, so we have been discussing for few classes. Need to realize emptiness. Without realize emptiness, only practicing for Noble Truth, no useful. Okay, so I know it's very dry, very difficult, very boring. Just, put a kind of sit. So next time for you, become more clear. Okay, why not we have a Q&A, then no, then we can stop. There's no point to be just feel, keep, boring you.
Geshe, the first question is, could you please explain the second type of ignorance?
Okay, so I thought this one weekends I thought how I should explain the actual meaning, the two types of ignorance. For example, let's say you have a piece of gold or diamond. Then somebody shaped the gold and diamond, made as a Buddha statue. We say Buddha. When somebody says, "Wow, look at this! The Buddha statue is so beautiful, so nice," right? But you don't have the sense of kind of appreciation about the shape of the Buddha, because the shape of the Buddha, somebody shaped the Buddha very ugly way. You don't have a kind of sense of appreciation of the shape of the Buddha. You thought it's very ugly, but still you can have the sense of craving of the gold or diamond. Right? This example. You don't have the sense of craving about the shape of the Buddha. You thought, oh, the shape is not really known as very ugly, but you have a sense of craving about the gold and diamond. This is the example. Second, when you realize, emptiness of self, remember the self-sufficient, substantial existence. When you analyze I, right? There's a first thought, which is I, thought. When you analyze I, how I exist, through analyzing, then you realize I am not totally separate from my body. I cannot exist totally, separate from my five aggregates. Then slowly you will realize I don't have a self-sufficient, substantially existent I. Then you can reduce attachment, anger, hatred, which is caused by the self-sufficient, substantially existent, the grasping. That means you don't have this kind of attachment which is caused by the grasping, which is, grabs substantially existent I, no more. Then, second, when you analyze upon I, then you thought, yeah, I don't have a self-sufficient, substantially I, but somehow there's an I. There must be kind of independent I, must be there. You go more subtle, more deeper. Then you don't have the attachment which is caused by, grasping, which is a self-sufficient, substantial existent I. But there's another type of attachment, anger, craving, which is caused by inherent existent I. Here talking about second type of I, ignorance, the grasping, which is grabs inherently existent I, not merely designated I. Right now you can see it's more deeper, more subtle. So this one we can study next time. Also is mentioned, right? Meditating on the Four Noble Truth can temporarily eliminate the affliction which is defined sense of, according to Abhidharma. But you cannot eliminate the manifest affliction which is defined, by the Pasangika. So you can read, the previous few pages again. Then you will realize, oh, there's two types of afflictions, or two types of ignorance. Two types of grasping. One is grasping according to Abhidharma. One is never ever mentioned Abhidharma, but is established possessed by Pasangika. Okay, next question, please.
Vishila, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I lost the, hold on. Yeah, in the 10 ground sutra, it says that Shravakas and Prakti Buddhas have realized emptiness. How can this be if they themselves believe they only have realized the 4 noble truths and the 16 characteristics?
Oh, therefore, this question, I think, rests in the past. Therefore, we should not mix up the tradition than the actual, practice. The Sarvaka and Pratika Buddha who follow the Hinayana path, they themselves, they realize emptiness. They meditate on emptiness with the renunciation with the emptiness for many years. Finally, they achieve liberation. But according to Theravada tradition, or according to later the Indian Buddhist tradition, then they assert Hinayana, Sarvaka, Pratika Buddha, they no need to realize emptiness. They haven't realized the emptiness. They only realize 4 noble truth and 16. They practice with the renunciation. This is a tradition. It's not the actual. So we should not mix up. We should not think the same tradition and the actual. Okay, the person who asked question, how you can say they themselves said, they haven't realized emptiness. I think I saw the text here.
Yes, it was my question. Geshe.
Yes. Yes, how you can say they themselves, Buddha possess, they realize. So how you can say they themselves believe, or they can say
I thought the Sravakas and Prajeka Buddhas, the Hinayana path, is realizing the 4 noble truths and 16 characteristics.
Yes, you are right. Therefore, one is one tradition. According to Chittamadara school, according to the first Vipashika and Sudanta school, according to Theravada tradition, yes, they no need to realize emptiness. Now we are talking about based on the Pasangika, according to Nagarjuna tradition. Nagarjuna tradition is in the actual level, they have to realize emptiness. So therefore it's mentioned, right? According to Abhidharma, there's ignorance. There's another type of ignorance which is defined from the non-Abhidharma. Yeah, this is a tradition. Yeah. But clear? Not sure. Okay.
I think I need another class, maybe next class.
Yeah, next class we can discuss more.
Yes, thank you.
Is there any question?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yes. Geshe, will having bodhicitta help in realization of emptiness? Will having bodhicitta help in realization of emptiness?
We are having bodhicitta, realize emptiness. What does it mean?
It means if we possess bodhicitta, would that help in realization of emptiness?
Not really. Realizing emptiness doesn't matter. You possess bodhicitta or not. Realizing emptiness is very much depend on your study, your analysis, investigation. Right? Then bodhicitta is very much depends on your familiarization, your practice. Because emptiness is we believe emptiness is actually the reality of all phenomena. You need to realize. In order to realize emptiness, you need to study. Study doesn't mean you need to read a lot of books. I said you just reflect on around you. You think, you ask a question, right? How things exist. First you think everything around me exists independently, inherently. First you think, you believe that way. Then second you ask question, am I sure things exist independent or not? That means realizing emptiness is not depend on having bodhicitta or not. Definitely, realizing emptiness is depend on your study, your analysis. Therefore, the wisdom, ocean of wisdom, Mula Mata Marikarika, whole chapter is only try to, explain emptiness with a lot of logics and reasoning. Therefore, you need to analyze, you need to study, you need to investigate how things exist. That means it's very much depend on your wisdom. It's nothing to do with the bodhicitta. Because, the advanced kind of very intelligent bodhisattva, first they realize emptiness, then generate bodhicitta. It's not depend on bodhicitta. But remember, Lama Tsongkhapa, he was extensively doing, serious study for realizing emptiness. Very seriously, extensively doing a lot of study about realizing emptiness. And he feels so difficult to realize emptiness. Then he asked this question to Manjushri through the Lama, Lama Umapa. He said, I don't understand emptiness. What should I do? Then Manjushri asked, answer to Lama Tsongkhapa through Lama Umapa, you must practice two together. Purification, accumulating merit. In one hand, you need to purify your negative karma. In the other hand, you need to accumulate merit. Therefore, he did, extensive mandala offering on the stone for, I think, many, many months. And last, he realized emptiness. Yes, purification, accumulating merit is very important for realizing emptiness. It's nothing to do with the bodhicitta. Okay, next question. One question.
No questions for now, Vishala.
Okay, from the Chinese speaker side.
Yes, Geshe.
Any question?
Just now pertaining to the Sravakas and Pratika Buddhas who practice Four Noble Truths and 16 aspects, is it correct to say that in this study, there are 2 points. One, it is from the point of text or from the points of the belief system. So there are Buddhists that believe Sravakas and Pratika Buddha do not practice emptiness, They only practice Four Noble Truths and 16 aspects. And they achieve liberation. So this is only their belief. So this is the belief system, or you call that a tenets. But over here, Lama Tsongkhapa, or according to Acharya Nagarjuna's tradition, he says that this belief is wrong because actually the actual Sravakas and Pratika Buddha, on the appearance, they practice Four Noble Truths and 16 aspects, but inside, through practice Four Noble Truths and 16 aspects, they realize emptiness directly. Therefore, they are liberated. In the short story is, you can have a belief that they don't practice emptiness, but actually, Sravakas and Pratika Buddhas, they do practice emptiness. Is it correct?
It's a half-half.
Half-half.
Yeah. Actually, let's say, there's a two Buddhist tradition, Theravada tradition and Mahayana tradition. And also there's a two tenets, right? Hinayana tenets and Mahayana tenets. And also there's a two tradition, Abhidharma and, like other tradition. So one you can say based on the two tradition, yeah, Sarvaka Buddha, Pratika Buddha, no real emptiness. Other tradition, they say there must be emptiness. There's a two tradition. So what is the actual one? So who is the, you can say who is the, like a two? The Sarvaka, Vibhashana and Sudantika, or the Hinayana tradition, or the Pasangika, who is the truth? And we must say, yes, according to the Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, their tradition is the actual truth. We should not say, appear to us, they have a little emptiness. Actually, they practice emptiness. We should not say. We say, actually, all the practitioner who intends in the path, they need to realize emptiness. Some of them already realize emptiness. Without realizing emptiness, cannot achieve liberation. This is the fact. This is the truth, right? So two tradition. One tradition is not we cannot accept literally. The second tradition we must accept literally. Okay, now it's almost 5. We can stop here. So please, you can read, if you have the copy, intent of the, eliminating the intent. So you can read around this topic, then it becomes more clear. I know it's very difficult, it's very dry, but it will be very important. Therefore, remember, whenever His Holiness giving teaching, he very much emphasize about this point. Remember, I think the body sense pervades all parts of body, right? All parts of body. The ignorance pervades with all affect emotions. Pervaded by ignorance. Any kinds of ignorance arise caused by ignorance. This ignorance talking, point of view from the Pasangika. So this point you really need to know on this point. In the future, when you attend any teaching from His Holiness or other master, for you become more easy to understand. Okay, so thank you so much for attending the today class. So since next Saturday we discuss little bit about the point of view from the Shantideva. Since then we just follow the root text with a little explanation here and there. So let's see how many chapters we can finish. So also weekly or monthly you must recite chapter 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 little by little. So instead of reciting Manipeme or Mixema, Bhajaguru, whatever, instead of reciting this mantra, it's better to recite the chapter 1, 2, 3 from the intermediate way. But once you will have a lot of more deeper knowledge about the emptiness, more deeper knowledge about bodhicitta, great compassion. Also, through this root text, so you can go a lot of meditation through these words. So try to recite, whenever you have free time, maybe for one chapter, maybe few lines from any of the chapter. Then maybe see you, next Saturday. And also, I know this day there's another news having new kind of variants. Then suddenly people feel very scared, feel very kind of, feel very upset, feel very scared. It's same thing. Any kinds of, kind of variants, virus will come. You just wear your mask, keep distance, wash your hands. That doesn't matter how many kinds of virus, variant will come. It may not affect to your life and your families. And also, this the whole world, every countries, they have been doing a lot of testing. The more you do test, the more virus, the variant will find. Also, someday you can find very scary types of, like variants or virus. It doesn't mean actually it can, better for everybody. So no need to feel so scared about this thing. Just feel relaxed. Follow the proper protocol and practice Dharma. Focus your daily job. No need to feel, very unhappy. So because recently there's a lot of news, right? The new variants. This is my point of view, but somehow you need also think. Okay, last we do the dedication. At the beginning, we recite all the recitation with a good motivation. Then we study about the entering the middle way with the great motivation. Therefore, we have accumulated a great amount of merits. All the merits today we dedicate for world peace. Wish all human beings free from sickness and disease, particularly free from all kinds of the scary virus. Last, we dedicate the merit, long life, all the lineage guru to flourish the Buddha teaching in 10 directions for all kinds of human. Jamba Bhavya Chitra Kimbadam Gundo Sambo Deyan Dejan Deda Gunye Jeso Dalo Jenge Wan Dida Tamje Rabu Dusum Shikbe Gyawa Tamje Gyam Wa Kanla Chodo Ngap Dagi Geve Zawan De Gunya Sambo Jeje Rabu Jida Yambe Gyaga Tanje Do Mine Chune Tase Zari Matru Muge Guba Gunje Staring neme dehi dembarsho. Thank you so much and have a happy Saturday.